of Yusuf alayhi salam that works with him said, what is the punishment for those who are liars? Like the wife of the Aziz, when she tried to tempt Yusuf, and he ran to the door, and the door was open, and the husband was there, she said, what is the punishment of the one who tries to take advantage of your wife? See that? Now, it's good to understand when we do actions to know what are the benefits and what are the consequences. Are there consequences? If there's consequences, then I should use my brain, my intellect, to make wise decisions. Right? And if there's consequences, then you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Right? So the Egyptians said, by Allah, what is the penalty of this if you are proved to be liars? They said the penalty should be, this is now the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam, because Yusuf alayhi salam's family, it was a family of prophets, right? Who was the father of Yusuf? Okay, who was the father of Jacob? Ishaq. Who was the father of Ishaq? Ibrahim. Right? So a lineage of prophet. That means that Muhammad, turn on the AC a little bit here. Is it hot? Is it stuffy? Or is it good? Okay. So this lineage of prophets, they know, right? They know wake up. Sit up. This lineage of prophets, they know the rules of Allah, right? And the rules of Allah, if you steal, this is the punishment. If you commit fornication, this is a relationship. If you have, let me put it in a different way. If you have relationships, any intimate relationship, you love someone or this and that, outside of marriage, it's haram. That's the rule. Right? That's the rule. So you break that rule, there's a punishment. Of course, there's different levels, but just to know, we should at least have knowledge. This action brings this benefit, or this action brings this harm. And then you make the decision. Because Allah says, we created the human being. And I'm going to share an ayah, right? Surah Al-Insan, the chapter of the human being. Right? Allah says, هَلْ أَتَى عَلَى الْإِنسَانِ هِينٌ مِنَ الدَّهْرِ لَمْ يَكُنْ شَيْئًا مَذْكُورًا. Doesn't man remember that he was something not worth mentioning? Right? That he was something not worth mentioning. Before he became a fetus in the womb of the mother. Right? He was something not worth mentioning. And then Allah says we created him from a fluid, right? And then we gave him وَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا. And this little creature that grew, we blessed him or her with hearing and seeing. وَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا. Not only that, we didn't left him alone, right? We gave him a GPS. إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ. We showed him or her the way. إِمَّا شَاكِرًا أَوْ إِمَّا كَفُورًا. They choose to be grateful or ungrateful. They're grateful when they follow. They're ungrateful when they don't follow. See how simple? That's it. So Allah says, I did all this for you. Now, you make the choices. Right? إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا أَوْ إِمَّا كَفُورًا. Okay? So here, when we go to, in continuation of the story, the kings, the Egyptians, right, the men of Yusuf alayhi salam asked, what is the punishment of the one who does this? So the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam, the brothers themselves said, the penalty is that whoever because each one has a saddle, right? So I said like 10 camels, right? In whoever's saddle the cup is found, then that person should be held as a prisoner, right? And they should be, and thus we should punish the wrongdoers. So they began searching the bags, and when they came to the brother's bag, Yusuf alayhi salam planned, because he wasn't going to punish his brother, his young brother, right? So he said, I'll take him to myself, right? Because Allah raised Yusuf with wisdom, and so Allah brought him, he brought his brother to himself. Overall, but Allah is all-knower. So then when they found the cup, the brother says, if Benjamin stole, our little brother, if he stole, he had a brother that stole before. They don't know they're talking to him. If he stole, he had a brother that stole before. Right? And Yusuf, still, he's being accused of stealing. There's something haram, right? He's being accused of stealing in front of his face by his own brothers. He could burst out, no, you're a liar, but he held himself. Okay? He kept it locked in his heart. He didn't reveal no secret. And then he says, he said to them, you are the worst. He didn't tell them why. You are the worst, and Allah knows the truth, right? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, behold, then the brother said, Benjamin has a father, right? And this father is old. And it will make him suffer a lot if we don't bring him back, right? And we promised to bring him back, right? We promised to bring him back. And he said, Allah forbid that we take other than him. Can you take somebody else? Take one of the other brothers. We need to take Benjamin back, because we gave an oath with our father that we will bring him back. So the 10 brothers, Yusuf said, no, the cup is very valuable, and I can't let him go. So they said, turning, what is it that you miss? Oh, let's go back. Let's further. This is repeating it. Good. So when the brothers they were begging Yusuf alayhi salam, please let him go back with us. Let him go back with us. But Yusuf alayhi salam didn't budge. The brothers were afraid of meeting the punishment from the father, right? Because they'll break their promise, right? Now, when they saw no hope, they said, okay, they had a meeting amongst themselves, the brothers, like, what are we going to do? How are we going to convince Yusuf to let Benjamin come with us? They tried, and then when they were about to leave, they said, our father, no, they returned back, right? They returned back, they go to Yaqub alayhi salam. They said, our father, your son committed theft. Benjamin committed theft. And we bear witness that this is the only thing we know. And we were not able to guard him. We were not able to free him. He was captured, right? What did Yaqub say before? I will let him go. But, if they said, we'll bring him back, we promise. But unless we are powerless, right? That's what the brothers say. We will bring him back, we promise, unless we are powerless. So here, they're going back to Yaqub alayhi salam saying, O our father, behold, your son committed theft, he stole, and we bear witness that we cannot well guard him against the unseen. As at the town where we have been, and the caravan in which we returned, we are indeed telling the truth. Yaqub alayhi salam said, Nay, but ye yourself made up this story. So what does he say? He said, فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. So patient is better for me. This is the same thing he said when he lost Yusuf. فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ وَاللَّهُ مُسْتَعَانُ عَلَى مَا يَتَصِفُونَ. And patient is more fitting. And Allah can help me about what you're making up. Then he had great grief. How great is my grief? But look how he switched it. Yaqub alayhi salam said, how great is my grief for Yusuf. But this is the one that's being held behind is Benjamin, not Yusuf. So Yaqub he says, patience is more fitting, and how great is my grief for Yusuf alayhi salam. He cried so much, right, that he became blind. They said, by Allah, they said, by Allah, you would never stop loving Yusuf? Right, the whole story is about that Yaqub alayhi salam preferred Yusuf over his other brothers. After all of this, Yusuf was thrown in the well, right? The father already cried. Yusuf was sold into slavery. Yusuf was in the house of the king. Yusuf goes to jail. Yusuf comes back. He becomes the leader of the stores, right? A worker for the king. And after all this time, Yaqub alayhi salam is still remembering Yusuf. So the brothers said, they said, by Allah, you will never stop loving Yusuf until you reach the age of extreme illness or until you die. He said, I only complain of my anguish to Allah. And I know from Allah what you know not. Because he was a prophet and they were not. So prophets get a special notification from Allah. Right? They have insight. So he says, I know what you know not. O my sons, go and inquire, go back and inquire about Yusuf and his brother, and never give hope in Allah. Never give hope in Allah, and never give hope in Allah's mercy. Truly, no one despairs of Allah's mercy except one who has no faith. So if you give up on Allah's mercy, that's a sign that you have weak faith. Right? We don't give up on Allah. He is the all-powerful. We might not understand how to go through certain hardships, but the reality, going back to all these different environments and stories, right, within this story, just a takeaway as we continue. Know, like we mentioned from the beginning of the story, in life you go through changes. You change relationships, you change environments, right? You change homes, right? You get married. Now you have a new house. The bathroom is not in the same place as in your old house. your new bedroom is not your old bedroom that was your space to hang out in, that you fixed it up and all that. It's different, right? Because when you get married, all your art and all your pictures and all the things that you put in your bedroom or whatever, things you have, your partner might not want them in the bedroom. Right? So, you know what? No. So these changes, that's life. You have to adapt to it, right? But what doesn't change is Allah. Alright? What doesn't change is Allah. And Allah is the all-powerful. So we have to remember. So Yaqub alayhi salam, he said what? Go and seek Yusuf. He didn't give up. That Yusuf was missing. After all these years, he grew up, gained maturity, right? That they will protect him. And Bismillah. The thing about this book is that, when scholars put stuff together, they'll repeat the same thing because somebody else said it. So I'm just trying not to repeat the same section. Go ahead. All right. So we're almost done, inshallah. We're almost done. So here, the brothers. So it was 11 brothers, right? Because it was the story of the 11 stars, right? And the sun and the moon, right? So 11 brothers. So 9 of them were the regular brothers, then Benjamin and Yusuf, right? So here, when the 9 brothers returned back to the father, right? And he told them, go back to Yusuf alayhi salam. I will never stop remembering Yusuf. And the brother said, even until you die, you're not going to stop. But Yaqub said, go and look for him and never despair. Birawhillah, with the mercy of Allah, right? And whoever despairs in the mercy of Allah is a person who doesn't have Iman, right? Now, it doesn't mean like if a person has doubt that he's not Muslim. You might have weak Iman. Right? There's levels of Iman. Right? You might have weak Iman, and sometimes it doesn't mean, for example, I don't feel like, what's the point of praying? It doesn't mean, some people take it like, if you don't pray, you're not Muslim, right? That's one extreme. But the right way is how can we help you build that Iman, build that confidence? If you ask, you guys want water? Can you bring water? Bring one? Bring me one, don't forget, okay? I'm watching, man. Okay, how many are you going to bring? 2. What about everybody else, man? Okay, come here, count. Head count. Get the full reward for okay, 1. Yeah, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Hey, I forgot you, I'm sorry. Just come on, man, hustle. So in life you have to be patient, right? Not everybody has strong faith, right? All you have to know is that, what do I need to do to develop my faith? What am I not doing Like you start questioning yourself. Don't question the world, right? I'll give you like my experience when I was when I wasn't Muslim, right? Just give you my experience, and then we'll continue with the story and conclude. But because we're at the point when Yaqub alayhi salam is telling his sons, go back to Yusuf, go back, and don't give up, right? Don't give up. Look for Yusuf and his brother, right? And never give up in the mercy of Allah. As long as you're alive, never give up. We should take that. That regardless if you struggle, you never give up. Right? You never give up. Mama, to have a baby, you never give up until the baby's born. Right? Painful. Never give up. I want my baby. And then the feeling when the baby's born and the mother sees it, painful and a smile. My baby. Right? So you never give up. This is life. This is like, and I'm saying this because you need to know. If we don't know these things, we don't feel empathetic. We don't feel for other people. We only think about ourselves. Right? We only think about ourselves. The same thing with dealing with, boys dealing with girls. The same thing. Many times, so this is, in life. I'm not saying like in Islam, but in life. Boys, I want a girlfriend. Right? But you don't know what girls go through. Right? So, when you know what girls go through, and they have their times when they're, today I feel good, tomorrow I feel upset, right? They have their time, that's natural. You have to know that, right? Because regardless, you're not going to find a girl that doesn't have those experiences, right? So therefore, wisdom is you have to figure out how to navigate and how to, right, be, merciful when they go through those challenges, right? Many times people don't understand, and so this goes from, pay attention. So this goes, what I'm saying is, why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? Because, and you guys are young, you're like, why are we talking about this, Imam? Why are we talking about, having babies and relationships? Because if we do not know, then we become adults that get married that still act like kids. You have adults that get married, men who do not know how to be men, who do not know how to respect, how to honor, how to be merciful to their spouses, who think that their spouses, that their wives are servants only. Right? That's why I'm saying this. Because we have to put ourselves in both shoes. These are my shoes, these are her shoes. If I understand, wisdom is like seek to understand before being understood. Right? The more you know about other people, the more tolerant, the more merciful, the more compassionate you are. Right? Honestly, I'll give you an example. When you go to many different places of worship here, right? Like for example, you go here, you go to Oday. Have any of you seen the Buddhist temple, the big Buddhist temple in Oday, right here behind? There's one behind, and then there's a Hindu temple on the Sri Mirakshi temple, right? But then there's a Buddhist temple right here, big, right? A lot of the attendees, they're from the same region, right? Same culture, same region. Okay. You go to some churches, right? In this neck of the woods, right? In some areas, some of them are predominantly white, right? With maybe a few people of color, a few African Americans, and a few Hispanics, but the majority are not, right? Now, when you think about, I want you to think about, how do we deal with these people? So the leader has to look at, the whites think like this, like the psychology, and sometimes, in some things we all think the same because we're American, but I'm just saying there's still some, if you think like ethnicity and culture and race, there is some cultural, right? And then the blacks think like this, and the Hispanic think like this, right? And then what kind of Hispanic, right? People come and say, hey, you eat tacos. I said, no, I'm Puerto Rican. Just because I'm Hispanic, it doesn't mean I eat tacos. I'm not Mexican. Oh, here, here's a pepper. You might like it. I don't like it. I don't eat it. In my country, we don't eat it. We have it on the side, unless, you see. So that cultural awareness helps us navigate, right? But now, when I went to a church, so please pay attention, right? I went to a church to do a program, right? Mashallah, very nice, very welcoming. I went with people from my community, from here, right? So you had Bangladeshis, a brother from Nigeria, another brother from Saudi, myself, Puerto Rican, Pakistani, right? So many different, Trinidadian, right? Guyanese, right? This is our Musallis, right? Each one, Palestinian, Syrian, Egyptian, right? So in that church there was a psychologist, and she deals with people, right? And when she saw all these people from these different countries, she was shocked. She came, she asked me, Imam, how do you do it? Right, what do you mean? How do you deal with all these different people? Different culture, right? Different food. If you say like let's make a cultural breakfast, right? I would say what's our cultural breakfast? Not yours, Muhammad. Not what, right? What we eat for breakfast? Like culturally, like.
Of course, yeah. Fried
Plátanos, right?
No, not from here.
So we eat plantains, right? Green bananas and eggs, and right. That's our typical. Others will like to eat pancakes, Others will eat dal, right? Dal with maybe some white rice or just the naan or the paratha bread or right. So if you say you give an Arab here's a paratha bread, it's like no, I like pita bread. Similar, but it's not the same, right? It's different. I don't like pita bread. I want a croissant, right? So you see, like understanding this cultural awareness is extremely important. So now let's go back to the story, inshallah. So my point is that one has to understand who one is dealing with. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they came back, when they came back to Egypt, right? They came back to Egypt and they said, "Oh, exalted one," they said to Yusuf, "Distress has seized our family. My father is stressed out. He lost his sight, and we have brought a little bit of money so that we can get, food. For Allah rewards the charitable. So please, we want to buy food." He said, "Know ye, know, remember how you dealt with Yusuf and his brother." Wait a minute. How does this man know who Yusuf is, right? The brothers only said he has a brother that stole. They never said he has a brother named Yusuf that stole. So now Yusuf alayhi salam says, "Don't you remember how you dealt with Yusuf and his brother?" They said, "Are you Yusuf?" And he said, "Yes, I am Yusuf, and this is my brother." But just imagine how Benjamin felt, this little brother, when he was caught, right? But then Yusuf took him to himself and said, "Don't worry, I'm your brother. Don't worry, right? You're in good hands," right? They reunited. But now, when the brothers come back and they acknowledge distress has come to our family, and then finally Yusuf tells them, "I am Yusuf and this is my brother." Right? Allah has indeed been gracious to us, and behold, He, Allah, He how honorable it is for the one who's righteous and patient, and never will Allah suffer the reward, suffer to let loose the reward of the righteous. If you do good, don't worry, you will get paid back. Allah will pay you back. Allah will take care of you. So here, what we see here is that, remember when Yusuf alayhi salam was thrown in the well. He was inspired. What was he inspired to? What did Allah tell him? He's thrown by his brothers in the well. Imagine this little boy thrown in the well. What did Allah inspire him to? What did Allah tell him? I'm going to show you guys. You guys will find it. So we go back, right? So go back, look at, you got the titles on the top, right? Look back of Yusuf alayhi salam is thrown in the well, right? Go to verse 15 on page 126. What does it say?
One day you will remind them of this deed of theirs while they are unaware.
One day you will remind them of this deed of theirs while they are unaware. Right? One day you will remind them. Now this is the day that Yusuf alayhi salam said, "Are you Yusuf?" He said, "I am Yusuf, and here is my brother." Right? God has truly been gracious to us. Surely whoever is mindful of God and is patient, Certainly God will never discount the reward of the good doers. Or God will never, like for example, sometimes you do something good and you don't get recognized for it. Like they won't even give you thank you. Like, right? It's just like they just, right? But so, and that happens. And even when you do stuff like in the masjid and all that, and then all of a sudden, like you had an idea of a very nice program, and it was done, right? And then when it was done, somebody else gets credit for it, right? That happened to me, right? There was a program that I suggested when I was an Muslim, like 2002, and then I suggested it. The first 2 years I didn't attend because I had to work. I was working 7 days. Okay, and later on, there was a report in the news, right, in the newspaper, that talked about the event, but then it was given. Somebody else was given credit as they founded the event. When did I get recognized for establishing that event or for suggesting it? 10 years later. 10 years later, when I was invited for the 10-year anniversary, they said, I was like, oh, I'll be honored to attend. I would love to attend. And you know what I did? I said I would attend, right? I said I would attend, but my family needs to attend too, right? So they paid for my trip, and my family also went to New Jersey in the school, in the school. So anyways, so we went, and they said, and when they invited me, they said, oh yeah, you should come. You started this. You were the one that gave the idea. We don't care about recognition, but sometimes it's important to recognize, give credit where credit is due, because the community gets split up, divided, when one person is missed. That's why sometimes I'm telling you, because you guys are gonna be old one day, right? And you guys sometimes you might become the president of a mosque. You might be speaking in the front, and you come and you say, you know what? Let's say I do this. We're all together in the mosque. And then I say, I want to, and it's Ramadan. And you guys are here, right? Boys and girls, you guys are here. And I'm recognizing those that attended the Tafsir class. And then I say, mashallah, Unu attended, Joy attended, Yasin attended, Sarinj attended, and Moiz attended, mashallah. And Muhammad's there like, right? Like it doesn't matter, right? Allah still gives them the reward for attending, but how does that feel? Like what? I could have been sleeping, playing Xbox and all this stuff, and he didn't even, right, recognize me. And so sometimes we forget. So my advice is be careful. It's good to write things down, because if you forget, then next time when there's a class, you know what's going to happen? Muhammad's not going to show up. I attended all these years, and then I wasn't even recognized. It hurts. It's natural feeling. It's not bad to it just hurts. So what I'm saying, so here is Yusuf alayhi salam is inspired by Allah. In this hardship, you will inform them about this later on. When? Don't worry about it. Allah has a plan when. Now here, Yusuf alayhi salam returns back. Yusuf's brothers return back. I am Yusuf and this is my brother. Right? Allah has blessed us. Right? Allah has blessed us and He is the merciful. Right? and He does not let the reward of the good doers be lost. Right? Now, now imagine, like, this is something that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said when he came back to Mecca. Think about it. Prophet Muhammad was in Mecca 13 years and was being abused. He was praying. He was praying, and the stomach of a camel was put on his head. Yeah, they sacrificed it. They took the stomach and put it on his head while he was praying. Do you know that they were stoned and they were abused, and 13 years. 3 years Islam was secret. The other 10 years they were suffering. One companion named a very skinny companion named Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, when he heard the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet asked, Who of you will like to recite the Quran by the Kaaba for the first time? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, I would. I'll do it. The Prophet said, I fear for you. You're small, you're skinny, but he had heart. He said no, and he didn't listen, and he went. He went and he started reading Surah Ar-Rahman, Allama al-Quran, and then they punched him, and he went unconscious. All right? Some of the Sahabas came and they took him and they brought him back. When he recovered, then he heard the Prophet ﷺ said, Who will recite Quran by the Kaaba? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud got up and went again. Right? So that's what they went through. Right? Now, some of them were killed, some of them were abused. The uncle in the battle of Uhud, the uncle of the Prophet was killed, right? And the enemy, they ordered for his liver to be taken out. Please tell me in the water. The enemy ordered for his liver to be taken out and eaten. Okay? Just to show how much anger they had and hatred for Hamza. Right? So now imagine, they went through all this. Finally, the Prophet ﷺ, they returned to Mecca. They regained Mecca. Mecca's, right? And then the Prophet says, What do you think I will do with you today? They said, you are the best of us, and you are the son of the best of us. You're not going to, and then similar to what Yusuf alayhi said. Yusuf said, what do you think I'm going to do with you today? Yusuf alayhi said, La tathriba alaykum al-yawm. Today, there's no reproach, no sins for you. Right? May Allah forgive you. Right? May Allah forgive you. It says, no reproach for you this day. May Allah forgive you. He is the most merciful. He is the most merciful. And he said what? Take this shirt, this piece of shirt, with fake blood, and take it back to your father and throw it on his face. He will regain his eyesight, because he became blind out of grief. Throw it in his face, he'll regain his eyesight, and he will come to see clearly. Then you come with all your family together. Then you come with all your family together to Egypt. So inshallah, in next week's class, which is very, very short, inshallah, we'll conclude we'll talk about the family coming together to meet Yusuf alayhi salam, and some of the lessons, some of the advice that Allah has for the believers at the end. Why did Allah send us this story? What are the lessons that we can derive from this story. Going through these hardships. You go through some hardships, immediately you say, why me? I'm good. Why me? Why would I get thrown in the well? Why would I get, after I already suffered going in the well? Why am I going to go to jail? Why am I going to go through all this, right? Why am I going to be separated from my family? Right? You can ask all these questions. But sometimes Allah has that plan to make you better. In conclusion, the gold. How is original gold? Well, how is it? Well, how is the material? Look it up on your phones. Look up raw gold. Raw gold. How does it look? You have a phone, Yasin? Okay, you can look at Joey's phone. Don't. Yeah, is it? But usually it's more like dirt-like, right? Like before, once you put fire in it, the more fire in it, it eliminates the dirt. And then you have the gold, shiny color, right? The more fire you put in it, the more the gold gets purified. Think about it. The more hardship a believer experiences and is patient with it, the better he is. The more he shines in the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, you get what I'm saying? Like, you sometimes have to go through that hardship, endure, so that you can become better. Right? So that you can become better. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us and bless us with life so that we can conclude the tafsir of Surah Yusuf. So next Thursday we'll conclude, inshallah. We'll finish the story of Surah of Yusuf alayhi salam. Alright? Barakallahu feekum. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.